everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about all the luxury items that I've previously bought in the past that have taught me a lesson on what not to spend my money on going forward. And not all of these items are purchases that I regret necessarily. Some of them I actually do really enjoy using, but I've decided that it's not worth it for me to buy more in these specific categories. So I have 7 categories of luxury items to share with you guys in this video. And of course, everyone is different. So even though these items did not particularly work out for me, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should absolutely not even consider buying it yourself if you really love the item. But it's just something to keep in mind, and hopefully it's helpful for you guys. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Carol, and I upload new videos at least every single Thursday on luxury, fashion, and style tips for the working women. So if you like this video, do check out my channel, maybe watch a few more of my other videos, and do consider subscribing as well as hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I do post a new video. Now let's get to the 7 categories of luxury items I would not recommend you purchasing. So in no particular order, the first category on this list is luxury tights. And the first thing that probably comes to mind is the Gucci logo tights that were very popular towards the end of last year, as well as the beginning of this year. And that is $100 that you could easily put towards buying your dream bag, for example. But this is not limited to just these logo tights from brands like Gucci, and I know Fendi did a version of it, as well as other designers probably did their take on these logo tights too. I personally never bought a pair of those Gucci logo tights because I knew that they would not fit my personal style and I would not wear them enough. But I did buy a lot of more high-end luxury kind of tights from brands like Wolford and Falk. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. And I don't have a lot of them left in my closet anymore. The reason being a lot of them ended up with tears and runs in the fabric. Even though they cost so much more than very similar kinds of tights from your local drugstore or pharmacy, they don't wear that much better at all. And this is especially true for sheer tights. So I dug around my closet a little bit, and it was actually really hard for me to find a pair to show you guys because I've thrown most of them out as they ripped. So this pair is from the brand Falk, and this one actually has rips right along the back seam of the tights, all the way from the toe area to at least where the back of your knee is. And I don't know why I still have this. I've probably worn this pair of tights like 3-ish times or so, and they've already ripped, which I think is really ridiculous considering this pair of tights costs approximately $40. And I've had tights from more affordable brands, which I'll link down below if you're interested in those, that have worn better. And even if those did break, they didn't cost as much money. So it doesn't sting as much when they do end up breaking. And there's also been a time that I remember in the past where these tights broke on the first time that I wore them. It was really ridiculous because I felt it breaking right as I was putting the tights on. And that was $40 down the drain right there. I didn't even get a single wear out of them. The thicker, more opaque tights I do find to wear better from these companies because they are thicker and aren't prone to ripping as easily. But still, they end up sliding down my legs, and by the middle of the day, I end up with tights that are halfway down my thighs, and they're no better than the cheaper brands that you can easily find. My favorite brand of opaque tights actually only costs around $10, and the ones from Wolford cost upwards of $50, so I could buy 5 pairs of the cheaper brand for 1 pair of Wolford tights. And I just don't think it's worth it to spend that kind of money for something that is quite a simple item in my wardrobe. This next category I spoke about briefly in my worst luxury purchases ever video, and that is anything in a lighter colored patent leather. In that video, I talked specifically about a pair of white patent leather Christian Louboutin Pigalle Folies that I had that ended up yellowing over time. But since filming that video, I did notice that another 2 pairs of shoes that were in a lighter color patent leather also ended up yellowing. So the reason for the leather yellowing over time is because the plastic coating that is applied over the leather to create the sort of patent finish ends up yellowing as it's exposed to humidity. And once it happens, there's really no way of fixing it because the problem is with the plastic coating itself. And I knew that patent leather was harder to maintain because once there's any damage to the item, there's really no way of fixing it because of that patent finish. But I didn't know that even if I did everything right, it was still a possibility that it could get damaged. And I usually keep my items in a cool and dry place, and I don't live in a humid environment either. So it was very shocking when I saw that a few of my patent leather items had yellowed over time. So in the future, because these items do cost a lot of money, I won't be buying anything else that is in the luxury category in a patent leather finish. If I want that type of look to an item, I'll just buy something that is more affordable and it won't hurt as much when it does end up getting damaged. This third category is something that I think a lot of people feel similarly to me about, and it is luxury designer keychains or bag charms. So for me personally, the most that I've spent on a keychain is around $50, and I think that is already outrageous. So the idea of spending like $500 for a simple keychain is really, really crazy to me. So the one that I do own that costs $50 is from the French macaron bakery, Lauderay. And it is this cute little keychain with a set of 3 macarons on one of the charms. And then there are more charms, one of which is the Eiffel Tower, another one that is their kind of logo or emblem. And then the last thing which I lost is this little bow that was tied to a ring that hooked onto the keychain. And I have no idea where I lost that little bow. It just happened and I didn't notice it whatsoever. So there was no way that I could even pick it up or anything. And just imagine if you bought a kind of bag charm that had multiple little charms on it, and it was attached to the outside of your bag, and you're just going about your day and it falls on the ground. There's no way for you to know that it fell. There's no way for you to pick it back up and try to reattach it. And I'm not sure if these luxury designer brands would even be able to replace that for you. And of course, I have to mention the Hermes Rodeo bag charms because those cost an obscene amount of money. And to me, I think they look like a kid's arts and crafts project. So I don't understand why it's worth the amount of money that it is. But then again, everything from Hermes costs so much money. This next category is any type of visible accessory in a bright color or a pop of color. So for me personally, I am much more likely to wear a pop of color in my clothing and then style that with a more neutral bag and pair of shoes to tone it down a little bit. And I have made this mistake many times because I really like the Tiffany blue color specifically. So I've bought so many things that are in that kind of color. And every time I try to wear it, I just think, I don't have anything to style with that item. So I just put it on and then take it right back off. So I have a pair of Christian Louboutin Pagao Folies in that sort of Tiffany blue color, which every time I try to wear it, which is usually in the summer, I always put it away because I'm usually wearing a white dress when I decide to put on that pair of shoes. But then I look in the mirror and I think, this looks a lot better with a pair of summer sandals. So I have never worn that pair of shoes out of the house. And like I mentioned in a previous point, since that is a lighter color, they have ended up yellowing over time. So that is just a complete fail on my part. And I also have this bracelet from Tiffany's, which is from their Return to Tiffany's line. And it has this Tiffany blue colored heart on it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. And I'll admit, I haven't cleaned this bracelet in ages before filming this video. I actually took out the cleaning cloth to just wipe it down before filming it because it was so tarnished. And I usually clean all of my jewelry around once every other week. So the fact that this got so dirty just shows how little I actually wear this, because this heart, even though it is small, I still don't feel like it matches with my outfit whenever I wear it. Similar to the pair of shoes, it's just not the kind of blue that I usually go for. So every time I think about wearing this, I always put it back into my closet. And don't get me started on the various Irma scarves that I wasted my money on. And all of them are in these bright, beautiful colors, but it's just not something that I ever wear. And my husband actually won't let me live it down. He always talks about how I've wasted so much money on those scarves and how absolutely ridiculous it is that I decided to buy so many of them before finally learning my lesson. But I want to specify that this only applies to visible accessories because I do like to have a pop of color in my small leather goods, for example, which are kind of hidden away in my handbags. So I have a very similar colored card holder in that kind of Tiffany blue color, and I actually do really like this because when I open up my bag, I like to have a bit of color in there. I don't want everything to be strictly black, and for me it's the right way to enjoy a pop of color without it being hard to style. The 5th and 6th categories kind of go hand in hand, and the 5th category is buying multiple cosmetic cases or toiletry pouches. So for me personally, I only have one cosmetic case, and I think that that is the perfect amount for me. There was a point in time where I had considered buying a second cosmetic case because I found that the one cosmetic case wasn't quite enough to hold everything that I wanted it to hold, and I wanted a second one to just split things up a little bit so I didn't stuff it as much. But what stopped me from buying the second one was I realized that the only bag that I had that would fit both cosmetic cases in it was my Louis Vuitton Neverfull, and I didn't want to buy something that I could only use in 1 out of my 10 bags. So I didn't end up buying it, and what I did instead was everything that I couldn't fit comfortably into my cosmetic case, I just put them in small pouches here and there, whether I got it as a gift with purchase from a cosmetic purchase that I made, or if it was just a pouch or something lying around my home from something else that I had purchased in the past. It was just a much better way of making use of something that I already had. And really, if you were to use multiple toiletry pouches and cosmetic cases to organize the items in your bag, you're going to really severely diminish the capacity in there because these items are on the bulkier side and they do have fixed dimensions, so you can't really put one item here and one item there as you find room for it in your bag. So it is much more efficient in multiple ways to just use little pouches that you have here and there around your home. Like drawstring pouches, for example, are really useful for this reason, and I do use them a lot. And maybe at most have one cosmetic case or toiletry pouch to put the majority of your items in. The 6th category is buying multiple SLGs in a variety of different colors, especially if they're duplicates of the same style. So I already have enough trouble trying to rotate my bags and trying to switch from one bag to another in the morning because I just don't really have the time to be switching all my items from one bag to another. So it's an added step that I really don't want to have to take to try to move all my credit cards and cash from one wallet to another. So any duplicate wallets that I have in the same size and style, I have since sold because there really is no need for me to have multiples of the same style. And even the card holder, I don't always use when I go for a mini bag. I just take whatever cards or cash I need from my full-size wallet and I just tuck it into a pocket or compartment inside the mini bag that it fits into. So I've done a video about how to curate your luxury collection and the key pieces that you actually need in it. And in that video, I said that you only really need one SLG. For me, that would be my full-size wallet because I have a card holder that I don't necessarily really need. And I also have my cosmetic case, which I really do love. But even that, like I mentioned in the previous point, I could switch that out for just little pouches here and there. So my one SLG, if I had a minimal curated collection, would be my full-size wallet. But for you, it could be something different. You could have a key holder, or you could have a mid-size wallet, whatever really fits with your needs. Or maybe you do need multiple SLGs. It really all depends on you. And if you're interested in that video, I'll have it linked up here. But at the very least, I definitely don't think that you need multiples of any type of SLG. So the 7th and final category, I really feel strongly about, and it is luxury designer costume jewelry. And in this category, I have one item, and it is my Dior tribal earrings. which I actually really do love, and I actually wear in a lot of my videos because I think they look really pretty. But the problem with this is I can only wear these for about 2 to 3 hours before it really makes my ears itch, because I do have quite sensitive ears and I have to wear something that is a type of fine jewelry for it to not irritate my ears. So these don't really fall into that category, and every time that I wear these, I have to accept the fact that my ear will kind of be in pain for at least the next couple of days. And when I purchased these, I had asked the sales associate if it works for people with sensitive ear piercings, and I was told that they haven't heard any issues that people had with them, and they said that these are actually dipped in gold before it's finished off. I don't know if that's true, so take that with a grain of salt, but whatever the case is, it doesn't work for my ears. So if you have more sensitive ears or ear piercings, I definitely wouldn't recommend these. But aside from these not working for my ears specifically, the quality of these have been okay. None of the stones on them have fallen off or anything. I know that a lot of people say that the costume jewelry at Chanel is not that great quality. I haven't personally bought any costume jewelry from Chanel because I don't really like the look of them. So I can't say about the pearls or embellishments on their costume jewelry specifically, but I had a pair of glasses from Chanel that had CC logos on the sides of the frames, and the CC logos were basically composed of small little pearls. And over time, as I wore them, some of the pearls fell off and I didn't know where they went, so I couldn't even crazy glue them back on myself. So I bought the glasses back to the boutique to see if they could help me fix it. And luckily back then, even though I had bought the glasses at an optical store instead of at the boutique itself, they were willing to help me. But they said that I would have to hand over the glasses so they can ship it off to Paris or whatever, and they would fix it up there and then ship it back. And the whole process would be 9 to 10 weeks. And I have contacts on right now, and usually I do wear contacts during the day, but I am so blind and there was no way I could go without my glasses for 9 to 10 weeks. So ultimately I decided to just take them back home with me, and I just bought a new pair of glasses soon after that. So from that, I can say that the pearls or stones or whatever do end up falling off of Chanel items since they are glued on, for example. And really, it is not really worth the money for me to buy another pair of earrings that will irritate my ears, or even buy a necklace or other types of costume jewelry, because honestly, I would rather put that money towards a piece of fine jewelry. And specifically for this pair of Dior tribal earrings, it probably didn't exist when these were first released, but now there are so many dupes of the similar style of earring, and I found some that cost like 5% of the price of these and look pretty darn similar. So if you're interested in getting a similar style for a fraction of the price, I'll leave that link down below. That is it for my video on the categories of luxury items that I will no longer buy because I don't think they're worth the money, and you should save rather than splurge on these items. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful and informative, and if you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up and leave in the comments down below your thoughts on these categories that I discussed in the video today, or if there's any other types of luxury items that you feel similarly about that I did not mention. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, definitely do consider subscribing, as well as hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I post a new video, which is at least every single Thursday. And I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you to watch next, so I'll see you soon. Bye for now.